Today we're going to be checking out a new lens from Samyang. It's the 85mm f1.4 Mark II for Sony E-mount cameras. Now, I was testing this out with my Sony a7 III, which is what I shoot all of these videos on, and it doesn't feel like that long ago since I was testing out the Mark I version, but I think it has been about a couple of years. It just feels like time is all strange now. So it's been a couple of years. It makes sense that there's an upgrade, and I was really excited to test this out because just in general, I think Samyang now offer such an interesting range of lenses. They're really filling out that range of prime lenses, especially for E-mount. And really, they offer some great lenses for a much more affordable price than you can get kind of native or other brands and stuff like that. They really do offer a great lineup for all kind of levels of photography. Now, I use the Mark I for some professional work, not just kind of personal stuff or just a ruse. I used it for professional work because it was absolutely able to provide some great opportunities for that kind of thing. And the Mark II feels very, very similar, but there are some differences. So let's get into, the spec of the lens. Does it feel good? Did I like it? Let's talk about image quality first of all. I think that's probably the most important thing with a lens, right? So this is 85mm, obviously, which is one of my favorite focal lengths to actually shoot at pretty much for any kind of photography. Obviously, it's great for things like portrait, but I actually love to use it for all kinds of different things. f1.4, very, very fast aperture, so you're gonna get a lovely shallow depth of field. You're gonna get a lot of light in there. So it's great for a lot of different things, a very kind of versatile usage here that you can get from a lens like this. And image quality wise, I think it looks really, really nice. It's very sharp, which I always appreciate, especially in the center, but even out towards the edges as well, even when you're shooting wide open at f1.4. The actual look of the images that I was getting from this lens, I really liked as well. So color, contrast, stuff like that looked great. Let's talk about the bokeh, because that's obviously a really important part of a lens like this, right? You're getting a very shallow depth of field. Now, I really liked the look of the bokeh that you get from this lens. Right, obviously a shallow depth of field, 85mm f1.4, but that bokeh has a little bit of a look to it, a little bit of a swirl, which I really liked. It might not be to everyone's taste, but I thought it looked fantastic, and it made me feel a bit like the whole character of the lens was there, right? There's a little bit of a look to the images that you'll get from this lens, which isn't always the case with a lot of modern lenses. A lot of modern lenses are optically fantastic. They give you extremely nice, clean images, but they don't necessarily have their own specific feel. There are some that do, don't get me wrong, but this feels like it definitely has a bit of a feel to the images that you get from this lens, which I really like. Otherwise, no problems with things like vignetting, even wide open. Sometimes you might expect that with a lens like this, but I didn't really see anything there at all. It might have been a very tiny bit in very specific situations, but I was able to correct that instantly in Lightroom. Same with stuff like chromatic aberration, so that kind of color fringing. Didn't really have much of an issue with that. There might be a tiny bit out towards the corners, especially when shooting wide open, but again, it's something that's very easily correctable and probably isn't gonna come up very often, if at all. It would have to be quite a specific kind of shoot you were doing to then actually notice it specifically in the corners. So again, I don't think it's anything to even really think about. Now, what I really like with a lens like this is a nice weight. So it's a plastic design for sure, but it feels nice. And you've got a nice big ring here, which can be used obviously as a focus ring, but you can use this little switch here to switch it and actually use it as an aperture ring, which is pretty cool, I think. Now, of course, it doesn't have clicks, which is fine, but it's a nice touch to be able to do that on an 85mm f1.4 lens. But like I say, plastic build feels good, but it's not crazy heavy. It's actually lighter than I thought it was gonna be for a lens like this, which is quite nice actually, especially on the front of these smaller mirrorless cameras. It just feels really nice. It feels really good. It's not light, it's not weirdly light. It doesn't feel flimsy, but it's just kind of a nice weight, not too heavy. I really like that. Otherwise, the lens itself is pretty sleek. You've got the focus hold button here, you've got the switch, and you've got the ring. And that's pretty much all you need on there. You can control everything else from the camera if you wanted to, and I like having kind of a sleek lens without loads and loads of switches on it as well. I think this is another fantastic entry into that kind of lineup of Samyang prime lenses. I think this absolutely is worth your time if you're looking for an 85mm lens, especially f1.4. I think this is absolutely worth having a look at because I think it is a fantastic option, but again, it's not gonna cost you as much as maybe like a native lens or some other options as well. So I think this is definitely one that I would feel comfortable recommending. I would happily have this in my kit bag as well. So you can check out the full spec, the pricing, all that kind of fun stuff by following the link down in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video as well, because there's new content all the time, tutorials, reviews, all kinds of fun stuff, all the time, every week, loads of it. I'll be seeing you in the next video, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.